Man, that boy Valdez came out victorious and did his thing. Champion of the world. I know he's waking up in the morning right now. You know what I mean? There's been a couple of nights. Still got a smile on his face. You know, looking at that belt. You know what I mean? Looking at himself in the mirror like, I'm the champ. They didn't believe in this kid. They didn't believe in me. You know? They didn't believe in me. Look at me now. Look at me now. And he's hyped up. He's super hyped up. And Gervonta Tank Davis let it be known that, hey, I'll sleep that boy. You know, I would have slept Burchelt, and I'll sleep Valdez too. I'll put that boy out, put him to sleep. You know, like a baby. You know, and some people, I guess, I don't know if they don't realize that Valdez used to be a 126-pounder as well. Screaming out, oh, you fighting 126-pounders, blah, 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 blah. Not understanding that that's where Valdez was also. But that to the side, all right? Now that he's become victorious, now that he's a champion, what comes next? You know, what's the next thing that's supposed to happen? This is the part where who you're signed to is very big as it pertains to your career. If you're signed to the right person, being in a situation like this, you can end up being prosperous. Whether it be you going into a big fight, winning, moving on, or you go into a big fight, even if you lose, being set as far as yourself is concerned, maybe as your family is concerned, you're getting a couple of millions of dollars if things work out right for you, right? Like Teofimo Lopez, like in the situation that he's in, how he beat Lomachenko, he got 3 of those belts, you know, he's good right now. Somebody like him, even if he doesn't fight the bigger guys, he seems like he might be someone that might be able to progress and have this big, huge future. But that's not necessarily the thing that happens with everybody. And tomorrow's not promised. We also know that as well. Now, what usually happens is after you come off a big fight like this, like I said, you get a huge opportunity. Example would be like Ortiz. When Ortiz fought against Andre Berto. Andre Berto was a champion. He was supposed to fight Shane Mosley. Didn't happen. He went over to, to Haiti to help his people. It was like a big hurricane thing that happened. All types of death, everything that happened over there. So he went over there. He came back. This was his first fight back. And he was supposed to fight Floyd Mayweather next. And Floyd Mayweather was there. You know, I guess it was going to be a big, huge story. Floyd Mayweather versus the undefeated Andre Berto. 2 of the top 5 pound for pound, 2 of the top 3, 4 welterweights fighting. You know, both undefeated, unification, all the stuff that Berto was doing when it came to, to Haiti and everything like that. It was going to be big, man. As far as the promotion, everything like that. Ortiz took that fight, $50,000 they paid him for that fight. $50,000. And he went on to go in there and win that fight. Become victorious in that particular fight. Became champion, just like Valdez did in a fight where no one thought he was going to win that fight. And what did he get next? Floyd Mayweather Jr. Undisputed champion. For a shot at the top guy in the world for a pay-per-view where he made millions of dollars off of that fight, especially in the back. People say, oh, his purse was 1.7. He made millions of dollars in the back end. That one fight set him up for life. Robert Guerrero coming up the ranks, doing his thing, taking on a Andre Berto, beating Andre Berto, coming off this crazy streak of knockouts, hadn't lost in years. He got that big fight, and that was the last major fight that he won after that. Got paid, took a couple of L's after that, but got paid for those L's too. This is what's supposed to happen. Like we just seen Charlo fighting against Rosario. Rosario in a fight where he wasn't supposed to win that fight. He was supposed to lose that particular fight. He wins that fight, okay, against J-Rock. And what happens? He gets that pay-per-view fight against Jermell Charlo, for multiple belts. Again, automatically got the big fight where he got paid millions. Now, he's signed to somebody else. He's fighting on PBC, but he's signed. So I don't know how much he actually got. If he was straight up an Al Heyman fighter, he would have been paid out the tail. But, he got that big fight. This is how it's supposed to go. But unfortunately, when you're signed to Top Rank, that's not necessarily what happens. If you're signed to the wrong promoter, that's not necessarily what might happen. You had somebody like a Tevin Farmer who was with DAZN, who, got the belt, got the IBF belt, got a bunch of fights in. All of a sudden, he's no longer, all of a sudden, he's no longer tied to DAZN actually at one point. His own contract is over. This is just something of him making a mistake. And where they offer him $2 million to fight a Gervonta Tank Davis. You're not a Tank level, so we don't know what your future. You're not going to necessarily beat regular guys, forever, for a long period of time. You're not necessarily on that level, and you've been knocked out. You've been stopped before. You've been having a lot of tough fights, and all of a sudden, this big, huge opportunity comes to you. And what did he do? He's like, nah, I'm good. $2 million is not even a starting point. That's what they said. And what happens? Goes and loses his belt for $500,000 without an extension from the zone or a long-term deal with the zone. That was kind of part of getting the wrong advice from somebody like Devin Haney keeps on doing him when it comes to Eddie Hearn as well. Keeps getting the wrong advice. Eddie Hearn keeps playing checkers with his career while everybody else consistently continues to play chess. Teofimo Lopez is playing chess in ways Eddie Hearn isn't playing when it pertains to Devin Haney's career. Back to Valdez. Big fight for Valdez. Champion now. Belt around his waist. In a fight where everybody thought he was going to lose his fight. So what's supposed to happen right now? What's supposed to happen right now is they should be negotiating with Gervonta Tank Davis right now. Gervonta Tank Davis just did 240,000 pay-per-views, taking on Luis, whatever his name is, Luis Santa Cruz. Just took on him and did 240,000 pay-per-views, coming off a spectacular knockout. Valdez taking on Burchelt, who hadn't lost in years, champion, one of the top guys at 130 pounds. Stopped him in dramatic fashion. Imagine the promotion of that fight when they're showing these two dudes and what they did and their rise to the spaces that they are right now. Imagine what that fight would be. That is a pay-per-view fight. That is a 400,000 plus pay-per-view fight. This is a type of fight with Valdez, even with the cut that he would be given to Top Rank, should be pocketing $5 to $6 million or more. This is that type of fight. This is a fight where you have it in Texas, biggest stadium that you can have it in June if you want to, and you sell out the place, and you make a killing when it comes to the gate. Even with restrictions, you make a killing when it comes to merchandise. You make a killing when it comes to concessions. You make a killing when it comes to pay-per-view. This is the fight. What he just did, this is what is supposed to be set up. This is supposed to be what's next for him. This big $7-8 million freaking payday for him that sets him up for the rest of his life, regardless of what happens. But unfortunately, what's probably going to happen, they're going to try to have him just fight these lower tier fighters, and they're going to put this carrot out, over him fighting, him fighting, my brain is gone today. The kid from Jersey, my brain is gone. Shakur Stevenson. They're going to put that carrot out to people. Hey, him and Stevenson will be a great fight, but Stevenson, he needs to fight this other fight and get this other belt. And once he does that, they just need like 1-2 more fights, to bring their profiles up a little bit more. Then we can have a pay-per-view fight. That BS. And then they're probably going to have a fight that's going to be on regular ESPN where he gets like $1 million, if he's lucky. And if that's what happens, he might go right in with him. They might have put him in right with Shakur, where he gets paid a couple of $100,000. Teofimo Lopez with the belt, huge star, $1.4 million to fight Lomachenko, and he had to fight for that money. He had to fight for that, regardless of what happens with this kid. He's not gonna make anywhere close to what he should be making. Nowhere close. He got his lottery ticket. This is the sweepstakes right here. The lottery ticket to the big fight. Maidana versus Adrian Broner. Him beating Adrian Broner. What does he get? Floyd Mayweather freaking Jr. He gets the big fight. But in this particular situation, because he signed to the wrong person, he's not going to be able to benefit from his hard work. he's not going to be able to benefit from this big moment in the way that he should. And it's unfortunate, because regardless of what you think about any of these fighters and the moves that they make, at the end of the day, they're putting their lives consistently on the line. They got families they got to take care of. They got kids, parents, you know. But if, you know, but depending on what situation you're in and you sign to this particular promoter, and they're a promoter like that's hey, Teofimo just lost $800,000 without Bob Arum doing anything. The guy doesn't even promote his fighters like that. $800,000 out of his pocket. That should be going to him and his family. You know, so that upfront money, man, it ain't always nice. You know, that's why I'm not gonna say, you know, they say, hey, this guy's getting paid $1.5, $2 million to fight. You would have did that for your kid too. No, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have. Absolutely not, because I saw what Earl Spence became by not taking that and going a different direction. I saw the type of bread Adrian Broner has been making. I saw the money Deontay Wilder's been making. Long term, I see what you can do, what you're capable of being if you sign with an Al Haymon. So I wouldn't take that upfront money. Hell no. 3, 4 fights doesn't matter, because it's going to be a point where somebody's going to surpass you. Teofimo Lopez about to just do 4 of this dude's fights. You know? About to do it. Almost caught up to him, even though he was getting paid, quote, all this money. And so, you know, Gervonta Tank Davis, he's doing that dude's whole career, every fight now. Gotta look at it long term, not short term, and put yourself in the best position where, as it pertains to your entire career. You know, so wish the best for Valdez, but that boy about to lose a lot of money. But for now, like, subscribe, share. I'm out.